Hello everyone on the internet and thanks for tuning in.
And welcome to an episode with me, Master Rider Bushido, and with my Toku Bros from the other side of it, it's Flayvaman!
Change Beetle.
After a huge lack of caffeine, depriving of sleep, to which I apologise to everyone at home, he tried to do the henshin belt sound of that of our series today is Kamen Rider Kabuto.
Yeah, it took you long enough to introduce it, but let's be fair, we can barely remember it.
That is true, and yeah, I've got so much and yet so little to talk about that, seriously, and by so much, I mean so much I don't remember.
Well, this is kind of thing, right, so I think we should start off by talking about literally referring to what we remember of Kamen Rider.
Right, that's fair. No, okay. What I'll do, let me just, to be fair, be nice and say what I loved about the show. One, I loved how simple the aesthetic of Kabuto was. The red, horned beetle. It looked amazing. The main character, which I honestly can't remember for the life of me, to which I apologise to everyone at home who's going to be slagging and typing on the bottom. Yes, okay, we get it, I'm sorry, but either way, it looked like one of the best, simplest riders I've ever seen for a very long time. Number two, the consecutive insect-themed extra riders, Stag Beetle, the Bee, Dragonfly, and the Hoppers. Still, all of which, names are a bit but they looked good. Suits were fantastic. The casting was good. Honestly, they were good. The belts themselves, I thought was fucking genius. Just to have the Kabuto Zectors was just shouting it. Nothing talking in your face. Nothing like the Kiba drivers or the drive drivers or anything, which we'll get to soon, guys. We'll get to that. But, just nothing talking to you. Just something simple. It's nice.
I think you've kind of literally just carpeted absolutely everything you're going to say about Kabuto. I mean,
all the good things, anyways. But what do you think? What do you think?
But I will say, alright, so I'm going to sort of do a bit more sectioned off than you just did it, right? So, me and Kamen Rider Kabuto, this was the second series that I watched beginning to end. So, Deno was my starting point, the same year that Kiba was airing. So, after I'd finished watching Deno, I started watching Kabuto. So, bear in mind, this was during Kiba year, so this is a very long time ago for me. So, my memory of it's again, I will say, bearing in mind it was only the second ride I'd seen, it was phenomenal. I actually remember really liking the series. I remember liking the darkness of it. It's, where it was also an anniversary series, it sort of gave, I think it got off with me on the right foot. It sort of gave
who was anniversary?
A lot of what I should expect. It was Kamen Rider Kabuto was the 35th anniversary series.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding, no.
Oh, wow, alright.
Right, yeah. So where was I? Yeah, so I mean, I remember it being the problem is, I remember it being a really good series, but where it was so long ago since I've watched it, this is literally going to be another review of what do we remember Kabuto. But, I didn't know anything about it beforehand, so, unlike the series, especially recent years where there's so many spoilers pre-episode 1. I had no expectations prior to watching Kabuto episode 1. I just went straight into it after Deno. Bearing in mind I did those in reverse order, and I'm technically still am because I'm still on. Oh, actually, don't even worry about that. But where that was where I started doing series in reverse order, I had virtually no expectation. It blew me away. The problem is I remember really liking the series. I remember really loving it. But the only problem is I remember more about Deno than I do about Kabuto or Kabuto, however you want to pronounce it. I remember more about Deno than I do about Kabuto. Bear in mind, I really like the series.
Well, see, I'm
It's
gonna.
a bit more. I like the.
Okay, if you don't mind me intervening on that, though, here's the thing. I'm gonna agree that, and this is where I'm sure you agree with me. We can't remember the story. There was no real story to.
I remember. No. Hold on. I do remember. I mean, this is it. Even without sort of recapping this recording.
Okay, fine.
I do know X amount about the story.
We'll get to the story in a minute then. But in regards to what you're saying about build-up, like you, I did not see any build-up whatsoever. I literally went in gung-ho. You know, I did not know what was to expect on the other side of the door. Like you, there are other riders that I enjoyed more. Saying that, and I will still defend on what I say in regards to the actual image of Kabuto, is one of... I've got to be careful how I word this now. One of two, maybe three of the best simple designed riders, main riders.
I haven't spoken about costume design.
Yeah, no. But I'm just saying, just to add, like, you know, no build up, but the fact that I went in with no expectations whatsoever.
Sure. I mean, again, for me personally, second rider, I'm just like, I remember really liking the series, but the thing is, I did think about how, at the time I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely remember this. It's a good, it's definitely a good precedent if it's going to be your first rider. I wouldn't say no to Kabuto being your first rider series, but, kind of apart from the fact that it was so long ago since I've watched it, the real ironic thing is that it's genuinely not that memorable of a series. I mean, I remember bits about it. I mean, I have to think really hard to remember the plot, barely. But I still remember it as a really good series. And now I think we can go into, well, I think this is going to be quite hard for both of us. But to actually talk about, so I'll start by something you've already started talking about, the suit designs, costume designs. Alright, so looking at, sort of them in civilian forms, you got the people that worked for Zect, they were all very suit-based, whatever. You got, you've got Kamen Rider Kabuto himself, the one who, the grandson who's the main character. He was very sort of, he was sort of went with his personality. He had like cool attire that matched personality. They going into like the right head outfit. Yeah, it was definitely simple. I love the helmet. I mean, later on you've got Hyper Kabuto, which was like it was a bit of a big chunky thing. Wasn't too sure how I felt about that. You got the blue one. I think his name was Gatak. Even though his was also very beatly as well, I didn't quite like the look of the helmet, but the colour was fair enough. You got Zabi, which was the yellow one. I'll be honest, I vaguely remember his design, but I do remember liking it. But I felt that you had I think they were twins or brothers or something.
So you had Dragonfly.
Hopper and Hopper. I actually don't remember. I'll be honest, you mentioned Dragonfly. I actually, honestly, for the life of me, don't remember a Dragonfly.
Right.
I remember Punch Hopper and Kick Hopper. They were a bit too generic, in my opinion.
Agreed. What's more, now, this is the weird thing, and I'm going to try my best in remembering this in the order if I can. Let me see if I can get this right. The B character in the show, if I remember correctly, loses his way, was hoping to get the Gatak Zector but fails to, and then he basically goes down into a slum and goes into joining some other brotherhood or something and getting the Kick Hopper, if I remember correctly. What's more, the actual actor himself then became Go on Gold, if that is on.
Oh, yeah. I remember I even mentioned that to you.
What's more, and also there's another, the what's his face? The person who played Dragonfly, Drake.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
he also played Kamen Rider V3 in Kamen Rider the Next movie.
Oh, okay.
So that's actually really cool.
Still not watch that yet.
Now,
You know. Okay.
I'm going out on a limb and saying this, but if I'm wrong, please do message me below and let me know how wrong I am. But isn't the main actor for Kabuto the same guy that did Black Butler? I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of that, I think that is all in regards to those that did multiple occurrences and different things, if I remember. Maybe there's more.
I didn't think that was one of the things we cover in reviewing this.
No. But it just.
Very much.
But bearing in mind,
the
we talk about what's it, Go Onjas and other Toku stuff. So I just thought, yeah, we've seen them there. So I thought.
Bearing in mind, we haven't recorded the Go Onja review yet.
Oh, do not tempt me. Anyway.
So I'm gonna say, you know, you're talking because you mentioned Drake. I remember reading. I mean, this is I do not for the life of me remember anything about Dragonfly with Drake. There was another one called Sassword as well. I remember the name.
There is a scorpion. There is a scorpion.
Right, I genuinely don't remember. That's the ironic thing. So, you know, again, I sort of tried to recap myself. Seriously, I don't remember anything. But, you know, Kabuto as a character, I remember his cockiness, I remember the whole thing in the kitchen, I remember the whole thing about pointing to the sky, and something to do with his grandmother or something.
No, the thing is he has this little trademark thing when, before he even henshins, he tells the enemy, like, my grandmother once said.
I'm the chosen one. Yeah.
No. Just some metaphor that his grandmother taught him, and literally almost every single episode, he goes like, he comes in a very cool swagger style, not giving a shit, and go, my grandmother once said, or something or other. That, you know.
No, it was something to do with him being on the stairway to heaven or something as well. I remember that.
Honestly, I have no idea in regards to that, but regardless, it's just...
Basically crossing out facts. Okay, alright, so moving on a bit. Alright, I'm going to cover, like, the secret about the music in Kamen Rider Kabuto.
Go on.
Well, this is the thing. I don't remember anything, so I did go over a few YouTube clips. Well, the opening actually does sound very much like the Time Range ending theme, but when I watched a few clips of episodes, it sounded alright, but genuinely for the life of me, I don't remember that much, you know, from when I watched it a million years ago. And, you know, bearing in mind that the opening theme was very sort of Time Ranger dancery, trance-ish. It kind of, you know, they could have done so much more. I mean, at least in recent years, Kamen Rider's really upped its game on its opening theme and its BGM. But Kabuto, I don't know, it seemed that.
I'm sorry, what did you say about how boring the ending was?
Well, you're not listening. But anyway, what can you remember of the music?
Well, that's my point. Nothing really. It didn't have that. It didn't stick out as well as. Well, it wasn't as prominent. It didn't have that same oomph as like Kiva's. Even Kiva was memorable, like breaking the chain and whatnot. It's just that was so memorable. As opposed, even Deno, Ryuki, you can remember. I'm gonna wait. Hang on a minute. And this is you're gonna slag me for this, but even Hibiki's annoying intro, the first one, was even more unfortunately memorable than I don't even remember what Kabuto did at all.
It was, you know, Hibiki's one's memorable, but what are you gonna do? Alright, so moving on. What do you remember of the story?
Pardon?
Would you remember the story? Plot.
The story. Well, like you mentioned, I think it's generically around that main character. Somewhat joins into the Zect organizations. He becomes somewhat chosen one of some description. There's a war between Zex and the Hive or something or other, I think. And then, honestly, I think that's it. And then I think, don't quote me on this, but there's some little girl involved between him and the main character or something or other, which then I don't know how that.
The little girl.
I don't know.
That was more of a belief. That was just a gig or was it was. She had no real plot. Yeah, she was one of the additional characters. When it comes to the story, there's only two things I really remember. Is one, the fact that you've got this next organisation. I love how it unfolded. That's one thing. But I mean, going and this was I was really cool, but then when I eventually to fire, which was older, it had background, and if you look to Neo basically, you've got like you give the truth of going. And yeah, you look at it, it's really just that creature. Oh, then they start seeing guys and move down guys who play good guys who have got something anyway. So, you know, I like the unfolding of it got a bit nuts towards the end. You know, I'm just remembering it was like it's like they were in car park fields.
I mean, all I
main parts of the plot I remember was how they tied it in with Ichigo. They tied it in with the origin story of Kamen itself. It was a bit of a sort of, you know, they put it out at the last minute. But still it was quite clever. So this is part of the story I remember. I mean, I remember lots of going on. Again, just so long, and I wish I could do this, but you know, I think certainly recap on the new clips. It's done and it's discussed it.
I mean, what I unfortunately was the word story. I fell asleep trying to watch some of the episodes, especially near to the end. I just dozed off. The only good thing, which we'll get onto, is the fight sequence, and that's it. I fell asleep for a lot of Kabuto, and I'm
yeah, like when they I'm not doing this. I remember watching it just when going to like the all the past like Kamen by Ichigo. It's like whoa. You know, I really like that. To be you I would or you that was that. Okay, we can move on. One of the things I definitely remember, and even for those who watch superhero films, one thing that out for me just overall is, you know, you've got this tension girl, which, bearing in mind, Demo was about a card, Kiva was that thing by his app, but at least, you know, you had like this whole device that clicked onto a box or something, and it as you were, and really tension girl. I don't remember anything else about the tension. Yeah, I don't remember the tension. So
I just love I just love the concept that when he morphs into this big husk of a thing, and then when he wants to go into his fighting mode, as it were, he just takes off the armor and then cast off. It's like that it's like that's the official form, and so it's like a build up, and I love it. That's so,
It's interesting.
pardon?
Yeah. Right, so, what do we remember? I do remember his bike.
His bike.
Yeah, I remember prominently seeing it in episode 1. Well, you know, and I got really watched any episode. A couple of clips, but even in the clips, you don't really see the bike. You know, it's not sort of heavily included as, say, they emphasise their bikes. Not car anyway. But, you know, you do on occasion see like like
Bike-wise, I wouldn't
but
remember. I'm sorry.
again,
Bike-wise, I wouldn't remember for shit.
of the second half of Painting didn't really concentrate on the bike. But, you know, I remember it being, this is the thing, where you don't really see much of the bikes in the second half of Painting. But, you know, I remember seeing the bike, I remember thinking, like, no. Unfortunately, you know, the next topic's choreography. I really don't remember it.
If anything, if we're adding choreography, then I'm gonna add just like the one thing I do remember, which I did like, is 1, 2, 3, rider kick.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think because all the riders had some sort of really awesome Hisatsu finisher.
Except,
Yeah,
except 3 of them. 3 of them
That's
kept
very
rider
specific.
kick.
Go on.
Attack, Kabuto, and Kick Hopper only had Kick Hopper had rider kicks, but otherwise, the Wasp had rider sting. What was it? Punch Hopper had rider punch. I think, no, don't quote me, but Drake had like a rider shoot, literally.
Right.
I can't remember for the life of me what was the Scorpion, maybe something similar, Rider Sting or something. But
I remembered more than I have.
no, but no. The thing is the
I
reason.
remember that. I was being general and saying that I do remember them having really good finishers, and you know, you got kind of that style. I think
What?
both. I mean, like where Deno was the year after. Again, you kind of got that whole sort of formally announcing what the rider's doing. So
But,
whether they're doing henshin, whether they're going to do the Hisatsu attack, you know.
see, this is one of the most memorable things for me.
Got that formally announced. I really like.
See, this is one of the most memorable things for me for Kabuto is that it was so unique in that when they're doing their finishes, it's like first off they do when the monsters go, or the freak of the week, whatever you want to call it, goes into super fast mode, and then to keep with that, Kabuto uses an ability called Clock Up. Also, the same the same system for the Zect. Yeah.
I was going to comment that for the choreography because even though I don't remember like sort of the fighting sequences exactly, I do. I mean, because you look at, I mean, alright, so sort of talking about Kamen Rider Drive. I don't like, you know, and I'm comparing sort of like this is just under a 10-year gap, by the way. You know, I don't like in Kamen Rider Drive the heaviness thing. I think it's you know, the continuity in that is very important. Whereas you look at Kamen Rider Kabuto, I think they did it correctly this time around. You know, they did it correctly first time around, if you will, or I don't know if they tried it before Kabuto. But, you know, at least, you know, it's like, alright, the monster's speeding up, so I'll speed up.
It's funny. Like, again, it's funny you say that because I thought I was going to add that literally by saying.
Because like in Drive, you know, the monster will drop a sort of effect that slows everything down, and only someone with a car can, you know, like someone holding a shift car will be able to keep up, but everything else around them still slow. Whereas with Kabuto, you've got the fact that, alright, a monster's sped up, so I'll speed up. And everything else just is carry on as normal. You kind of, at least in Kabuto, you kind of see, you see like everyone acts as normal. You see them zooming around, but then they'll rewind it and they'll make everyone else slow while the two fighters fight normally. I think that's the clever way around to do things. And at least choreographed wise, you don't see the two fighters who are fighting fast touching people who are moving slow. I mean, you'll see them you'll see them hit, do hitting, but you don't see them attacking them or trying to interrupt them or whatever. They kind of keep it simple, and it's a simple gimmick that I think Drive overdid it, but Kabuto did it correctly in my opinion.
I'm gonna also add 2 pointers to that. One, I agree that Kabuto did it right. What's more, to make it even more dramatic, is when he weakens the enemy and they go into slow-mo pretty much, and then Kabuto's still in clock up, and then he builds up his 1, 2, 3, his finisher, and then he turns his back on them, and then he goes rider kick, and then there's.
That goes with his personality.
It does. It's just so dramatic. It's like, oh shit! Seriously, it's like it's like dark finish, but not. If you know what I mean. It's like a justice. It's like a justice finisher, like Batman finishing off his opponent, sort of thing. I couldn't word it any other way. What's more, the only other time have I ever seen Clock Up used so well, not in Kabuto, by the way, I don't know, but in Decade, when he was against Kabuto and then he threw a Clock Up in there, Decade went into, what was it, Fize's speed mode. And they just had a Duke and Alta, and I thought that was so cleverly done. Even though it kind of looked very fast-paced, but still, it was really cleverly done, just to have those two speedsters. I just thought I might throw that one in there as an Easter egg, but still, I just thought that was so clever. What's more, Kabuto, if I remember correctly, was the first series to have or only, correct me if I'm wrong, to have a triple rider kick finish. The first one, anyways.
I wouldn't know.
Saying that, I wouldn't be surprised now that I think about it if Ichigo, Nigo, and V3 did do a triple. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I've still got it. I haven't watched it yet, but I think the current Kamen Rider Type Stage, I think you've got Ichigo, Nigo, and Sango doing a triple.
I meant as in year, airing-wise.
Okay, but I think one thing I'll be honest, I remember nothing about this, but reading, it's going off of RyuKiva. There was a as well.
A what?
A dark, like common dark. I think it was like.
Yeah, I heard about a dark.
Towards the end. I can't remember anything.
All I know about Dark Kabuto is that of what we saw on Decade, and that's about it, really. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I love the look of Dark Kabuto. I love what it looks like. That Ryuga, Dark Kiba are good, but I know nothing of it. I don't know anything of it. Like, there are some shit Dark Side riders out there, but those three are genuinely up there in the good section. Like, aesthetically, they look good in the dark side.
Ironically, I mean, you've got Drive, which is just finished. That had gold, even though it's
do not start that for 2 reasons. One, how shite it is, and 2, we'll get there next. We'll get there
next time. Yeah, sure. Okay. Right. So, what did we think of the locations of Kabuto? I'll start this one. Right. Right.
Felt
Well,
like it was in a warehouse, but don't.
I remember they had a Kamen Rider cafe that was more of a restaurant really, where you got the Kabuto character going and eating, and then sort of being a food critic, which I'll be honest is very much like me. I'm very, very sort of critical of my food. I loved how, when it was with this, like the apartment he lived in was so lush, and you saw a lot of the kitchen that the work, his sister was cooking. Nice, I mean, again, I know this isn't exactly like, architecture show or nothing, but you look at the house he lived in, it was lush, it was really nice place he lived. In terms of action locations, for some odd reason, I remember, like right at the end, it just felt like they shot final scenes in like fields and car parks. But
I saw that. It's almost like the fields of a sunflower.
This wasn't YouTube with that. This is me remembering. I was like, oh, this looks like it's been filmed in a car park. but then again, this isn't anything off YouTube. This is me remembering. Those scenes in the underground laboratories, for Zect, and I'll come back to Zect in a sec. But those underground scenes in the underground laboratories, I thought just added this really kooky nature to Kabuto. But the one, and I will say this is a bit of a criticism, but where you had Gatak and like the female heroine, they were just like going around in a van. It kind of looked like a cool van on the inside and out. Well, the out was inconspicuous to be fair, but I just felt they could have done something just a little more ingenious to that. They could have done something a lot better than, we're operating out of the back of the van, like they are snooper spies or something. They could have done something much better with that. But others, again, apart from that in the car park, I mean, I guess their budget didn't stretch so much for Kabuto. Or maybe, despite the fact that it was an anniversary series, what we're going to do.
When you mention about locations, the only thing I remember is that of like the Zect organization. That's pretty much looked like it filmed in a warehouse kind of thing. That's pretty much it.
That is very wider typical, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
What you can do.
Otherwise, everything else, like you mentioned at the end, like the fields of a sunflower kind of thing. But otherwise, I don't really remember anything. One thing, I'm going to go back to the suits and the different riders. One unofficial rider we both missed, and I'm sure you agree, if I mention it, you're going to nod your head on this. Riot Troopers.
Yeah, I remember them. That's it. I think that was kind of a nod to the typical Kamen Rider foot soldier, if that makes sense. I mean, because you look at Gaim, for example, they did that. Drive, no. Gaim.
Wait, Gaim did foot
Wizard
soldiers?
Did well. No, yeah, one of the Acorn characters. Where they just take one Kamen Rider and just make loads of them.
Oh, yeah.
Brown one, the dark brown one from Gaim.
Yeah. With the yeah.
But with Kabuto, I don't kind of, they kind of did that kind of, but it didn't feel like clone trooping, doing a clone trooper thing. I kind of disagree with you on that.
I actually think it's the birth. I think it was the very birth of, I felt like taking that so-called foot soldiers, as it were, from, Ichigo, Nigo, whatever, right? And then giving them a not armor, not rider outfit. And I think giving them literally a biker helmet and a black suit with a machine gun. Okay, yeah, admittedly it was a bit big, but still, I thought it was rather simple. I like it. And then in the movie The Next, there was something almost similar with a touch of gold on it that was a serious nod to the Riot Troopers. Seriously, it was uncanny.
Ah, I see. Alright, was there anything else? Right. Okay, I remember.
Actually,
right,
one
moving
thing.
on.
What did you think of Hyper Beetle? Just for the benefit of the doubt, because I didn't mind it.
Well,
Just
it added to the plot. It added to the plot and the whole power-up thing that all Toku has, but I didn't think it was anything that extra special.
for the benefit of the doubt, I loved his. Now, I love the fact that Kabuto didn't have a weapon except for his reverse dagger. He didn't really have a weapon, which I thought was rather ballsy. Secondly, is Hyper, and now this is where it gets confusing for me. He pretty much gets a huge sword gun for his Hyper mode, and what's more, to power it up, he takes other people's Zects. He gets their.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, well, I'm
Now
saying
that you
it. I'm saying it, so shush. So he pretty much gets all the Zects.
So I remember Gatak had some sort of long thing.
That sounds so bad.
So, moving on. What did you watch the film?
No,
Godspeed Love.
no.
Right, well, I did. I vaguely remember the intro offhand. Something to do with outer space. I read up again. This is me recapping. You know, I remember the whole alternative sort of prologue, it being a prologue. I kind of remember this, but I genuinely don't remember anything about the film. So I'm just going on record saying I've seen it, but I don't remember anything about it. Brilliant. So to wrap up this episode, what are our final thoughts on Kabuto?
As a rider, in regards to the aesthetic and uniqueness, I love Kabuto. In regards to what he looks like, his fighting style, his belt, his Zect, I love how he looks, his facade. I love how he looks, how the images. You can throw him on any poster and it would look good. The story-wise,
Yes.
it is so unfortunate that I do not remember anything about it. Even the choreography, I don't remember, but then saying that the clock up gimmick is so good, I can forgive that. And again, all those positives outweigh how much I forgot about the story, how much I forgot about the villains, how much I forgot about how even whatever was what, how prominent Kabuto was, how dominant of a presence, how much of a figure.
Okay.
Shut up.
I mean, because you said about putting him on a poster. I mean, I remember seeing so many times that people keep saying that Saban actually got the rights to doing another Master Rider series, and that they were going to use Kabuto. Everyone just kept mocking up like Kamen Rider Kabuto as a Power Rider or something.
As a what?
So yeah, I do agree. Have you not seen that poster? Well, again, it was some sort of hoax that people were doing online, or maybe there was some truth in it, I don't know, but saying that Saban was going to try Americanize Kabuto. And, they mocked up Kabuto in a poster, and it does, and again, he's a perfect poster rider. But my final thoughts on the series, again, I just wished I'd watched it more recently so I could talk more about it, because I remember it being a great series. It was so long ago since I watched it. I mean, again, just sort of talking to you about it and just recapping, I remember a lot of good things. I mean, honestly, I don't remember that much negative, apart from, there were a few bland attributes to
Yeah.
it. It wasn't all that great, and obviously, and yeah, I think its massive downturn is that it's just not that memorable a series. Otherwise, I'd have talked about it now as much as I did then.
Do you
But
feel
what are you gonna do?
do you feel the main character felt like an homage to Takatora from Gaim?
Well, it wouldn't be because this was before time.
Well, I mean, do you see a similarity? Do you think?
I could see some
Oh, sorry.
similarity.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. Do you think Takatora is an homage to?
I can see the similarity, but Takatora was more. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to talk about a ride from the future, Takatora was someone who, he was cool, but he didn't talk as much. He wasn't as arrogant, and then he became, he was sort of like
Villainous.
the more, he started off. No, he started off quite villainous because he was working for the Yugisa drill, but then when he's like confronted by the insanity of the
I merely meant it
becomes
as
quite a character.
I merely meant it as the concept, as a mere.
No,
Okay,
I
that's all.
disagree.
All right, that's all. Just because I kind of felt similar facade, similar swagger.
Not me. Maybe someone will agree with you, but
Whatevs. But
so I guess that's it for Kabuto, right?
yeah, so as always, so that's been a somewhat prolonged episode of Master Rider Kabuto. Do join us next time for whatever does come down the line. I've been Master Rider Bushido, and he's been my Toku Bro. Oh dear lord, my bro on the other side. And as always, Physics!
It should have come. I think the sound went, but never mind. Ciao.